I could just, and this man would fall. Not only am I in SOHO, but I'm ugly. Who the runs Aritzia? I just want to know. Unicorns and glitter and magic. Yeah, I'm a Sagittarius, if you didn't know. I'm hot.
Hi, this is your pilot speaking. Please keep your seatbelts fastened and wipe that stupid smile off your face. Oops, took a wrong turn. Looks like we won't be landing anytime soon.
Rolling? Oh my god. I haven't podcasted with you here in a minute, so. No. You get to witness it. Actually, can you go in the other room?
Yeah.
Actually, you don't have to.
No, I will.
I'll get over it. I don't know why I'm being shy. This is an ice pack if you're wondering what I'm holding. The homeostasis is off. This is day 1 of period for me, and it's hot everywhere. Even though it's freezing outside, it's hot. I'm hot. Hi! I'm sure you're probably wondering, what's this new mic? I have a new mic. My friend Sarah that I dance with was so kind, and she was like getting rid of stuff, and I was like, oh, I'll take your mic. And I was like, oh, but I actually can't afford it, because she was selling it for a good amount of money, and it's worth a lot of money. But then she just gave it to me one day, and I was like, what the hell? You're such a good friend. So here it is. It's so it's so professional. Okay. Welcome to episode 11. I'm having hot flashes up the ass today. Like I said, day 1 of period. The hot flashes are hot flashing bad. So I have my handy dandy trusty ice pack. Thank you, ice pack. I'm just gonna place her right here. It's been a minute since it's been just me. Hello? Oh my god. There's been a lot going on in life. Like things have been very busy. I'm very grateful. I've been teaching a class in Manhattan, a contemporary dance class that I've had so much fun teaching, and it's really hard, but it brings so much joy. I'm grateful, and it's so fun being in the space with community and being able to like share choreo that I like have so much fun coming up with other people and kind of like figuring things out together. And I feel like that's the beauty of teaching, is everybody in the room is learning, and I approach it that way, so I enjoy it very much. What comes with doing a lot of things in New York City means a lot of transportation. And I have a story for you. I'm always on my high horse about how men hate women and how I hate men, and like this isn't a secret. But men hate women in the way that is misogyny, and they view us as things rather than human beings. When I say I hate men, it's because they just have a lot to prove, and like I've talked about that in many episodes. So on the topic of I hate men, I have an MTA story. Thank you to this man who became my subway story. A couple weeks ago, I was standing in the platform with my friend Emma and my friend Grace, and they had just taken my class, and it was so fun to dance together. You never know who's gonna be where at what time ever. So it's 11 a.m. and we're standing waiting for the train, and Emma is telling me something that she's encountered, which I'm not going to disclose here, about how she's in a situation where the women were told that the men were going to be getting paid more, and there was no negotiation allowed when it came to pay. And so naturally I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Fuck that shit. Who do I need to fight? Like, what do we have to do? Let's raise hell. naturally I was like, let's start a war, because this is just like a constant theme in everyone's lives, I feel like. Especially women, especially in the dance world. I just like have this gut feeling that men are just paid more in some circumstances and not all of them. But like I mean, it's a proven fact. Like, there's a wage gap. Duh. And so, you know, I'm angry, we're listening. All of a sudden, there's mysterious liquid appears from out of nowhere from a really tiny man walking towards us, coffee in hand, boom, coffee all over us. All three of us are standing in a circle. We go, we look back, I go, oh, no. I'm like, let's go. We start walking towards the end of the platform. He goes, what's so funny? What's so funny? What's so funny? I'm like, all right. Of course, my first instinct is like, run. And then my second instinct is like, this man is like 4'11", and I could probably just, and he would fall. And I was like, why am I so afraid? Like, he should be afraid of me. Which then I realized, like, oh yeah, he just like is trying to fearmonger us, obviously, because that's every man's tactic when they're in a bad mood and they hate the world. They take it out on women. Now I'm like, I'm not dealing with this today. 911. 911, is this an emergency? No, it's not, but I don't want to fucking deal with this today. Can you please have a policeman come down? There's a man that's following me. I don't want to deal with this. I'm with 2 other girls. There's another girl with us. I don't feel like being harassed. Can you send somebody? Yeah, just like, where are you? Canal. Okay, and what platform? The RW train. Okay, and where? Uptown? Wait, where? Yeah, uptown. Okay, what's your name? And I'm like, ma'am, he's approaching us, and we're about to get on the train because it's here, and we're heading to Union Square, and he got on a different train car, but he's walking through the train cars to come to us. I'm gonna lose you in about a second because we're going underground, but we're fine right now. Okay, just can I have a callback number? Yeah, 915. Train is like going underground. 915. Okay, we're sending a police officer there. And I was like, ma'am, we're on a train heading uptown. By the time the police gets there, we are going to be so far gone. Whatever, that hot flash. Whatever, that does not cross her mind. Like, she's just doing her job. Respect. I'm sure they get a million phone calls a day, and it's like way more serious than what we were dealing with. Because again, I could just, and this man would fall. And so, yeah. And so then I was like, and coffee was thrown on us. I just like don't want to deal with any other violence. Because I'm like, is he going to come attack us? Like, is he going to hit us? Like, what's the situation? I just don't want to deal. We get to Union Square. He gets off. I immediately am like, okay, he's off the train. There's always like a ton of police people doing nothing in Union Square. So obviously I find somebody who's doing nothing. And I go up to them. 2 of them walk away immediately. I'm like, excuse me. And 2 of them walk away. And one guy goes, yeah, we'll be here all day. We'll be here all day. So just like, come find us if anything. So nothing was done. Of course, nothing could have been done. But I was ready to fight. And I have been ready to fight multiple times. Because that's just the way of the city. Like, I was like, what do? Do you just like to the throat? Or do you like to the balls? Like, what do you do? No, I actually think, this is what I was told. I feel like gut. I feel like like straight to the stomach. Boom! With the legs. Not with my fist. Not with my fist. The legs. Boom. Because it's a statistic that dancer legs can kick through people's spines. That was my one subway encounter. I've had many subway encounters. I'm not going to get into it because I feel like this is a shared experience among New Yorkers. And why do we need to relive these memories? We don't. This was a more mild subway encounter. Although I've never had coffee thrown on me, it was cold and it was certainly like days old, which is gross. But we were fine. Everybody was safe. It was just annoying. It's just annoying because when you're a woman in the city and that happens to you, you just like immediately fear for your life rather than, oh, cold. Oh, okay. Oh, that feels good. You just immediately fear for your life rather than like, I'm going to kick here and I'm going to kick here. Like, that's the second thing that happens in your brain. Where do you kick? Not the first thing. The first thing is run. Which, that's probably a good thing because maybe you should run. Like, that makes sense to me. Shifting gears here. I'm currently on a spring break from teaching. And it's been so nice. I have to say, I love having a break because it reminds me to like actually catch my breath, which is really hard to do if you're like me and you just have to keep going because your brain is just so like keep going. And so my spring break has been like catching up with friends and like taking some classes and completely separating myself from teaching for right now. And of course my brain when I'm taking class is thinking about like, oh, I have this idea. Oh, I have this idea. Oh, I should do this when I teach. Oh, I should do that. And I have had to actively be like, no, we are not doing that today. We are a student. We are going to turn our brain off and just learn. We're not going to translate anything into like how I should be teaching, what I can teach, how I can approach it, blah, blah, blah. None of that. I want none of that. I just like want a clean from the teaching brain. Even though I dance professionally and like I have a show coming up in June, I cannot shut off the teaching brain. It's always on. And I have to say though, like I have learned so much about myself and so much about young adults through teaching. And through young adults, I've learned about myself as a young adult, like from earlier years to where I am now. And it's just such a crazy journey and I love it so much. But also like you have to take breaks, otherwise you're going to go insane. And you just, I have felt insane before. I have felt the insanity of not having a break from teaching for a while. And then you're like, who am I? Yeah. And sometimes you just like need a week to like shave your legs and not think about like what you're wearing to teach the next day in case you like your legs aren't shaved and you have to like demonstrate something with your legs and you like don't want your hairy legs out. You know what I mean? Like things like that. One thing I have been doing that I absolutely love that has changed my dancing drastically. It has changed the way that I feel about dance. It has changed my outlook on club spaces and nightlife. House. I have been taking house classes for over a year now, and that's not to say that I'm good, okay? That is me just stating that I have been in house classes for a little bit over, no, is it a year or 2 years? I think it's almost 2 years. Maybe I'm making that up. I don't know. But it feels right. That feels right. And I was my first experience with house was was during COVID with Ray Bassa. And it was like so beginner, so it was improv based, but also like I didn't have a lot of tools to understand how to improv that way. And now I feel like because I've been taking it, I like have somewhat of an understanding, and it has just like changed my dancing. I love house. I love it. Okay. The new year came around and I was like, okay, what do I want for myself this year? Okay, I'm going to continue this. I've thought about getting an agent. Oh my God, I'm saying it. Trying to like balance the like dreaming aspect of career and like what do I see myself doing in 10 years? What do I see myself doing in 20 years? But I also feel like in 20 years, I'm going to be somewhere completely not where I thought I was going to be. If you asked me 5 years ago, I'd have no idea. I didn't have a plan. I kind of just like kept doing the next thing. And so I'm trying to keep approaching things like that. And the next thing for me feels kind of like an agent maybe. I manifest a lot, okay? Okay. I really believe in the act of manifestation, asking for what you want, putting energy out into the world for what you want. That is the best way to motivate yourself to get the results and to also just like be actively pursuing yourself. A couple weeks ago, I took a pole class, which was fantastic, by the way. I recommend it to anyone who's interested, anyone at all. Doing pole, I have yet to go back because I just like haven't had a lot of time because I've been focusing on other things. But I'm going to go back, and if anyone is interested, it is so fun. And I literally took the intro to pole class, so it was just about like how to hold it and how to like walk around it. Things were kind of aligning for me. I was like finally doing things I said I would for so long, and I was like, oh, I really want, like, I'm looking into agencies. I've been on social media like trying to figure out how to, brand myself. All the like annoying shit that you have to do, but like it ends up being fun because you get to just like do it for yourself. I've been giving people the benefit of the doubt lately. That's been my thing, because in recent years I haven't been giving people the benefit of the doubt. I usually am just like, no. But I've been trying to practice that because life is short and I don't want to like disregard first impressions. Like that's not always true of people, because people are anxious, they have their own shit going on, life is hard. So like I'm not going to write anyone off for the first thing. And so I was like, okay, maybe that's not what this is. Now men though, I write them off. I'm like, you do one thing, you get out. Like no. You have to earn no. Women though, I give the benefit of the doubt. So this person DMs me and I'm like, oh my God, I should respond back. It's a great opportunity. I respond back. I'm like, this is great. This person like is a dancer, cares about dancers, blah, blah, blah. They message me and they're like, would you have time for a phone call? And I was like, wow, yeah, why not? They're talking to me. We have like an hour phone call. The stars are aligning because it's everything I want. It's somebody that can like help me to be the best version of myself, help me maybe get jobs, send me things. Like it is what I want. And I'm like, this is too good to be true. My gut is like, hello, like nothing. Like I have a friend who recently just got an agent or a manager, and it took her work. And I was like, this seems way too easy to be just like coming to me, and me of all people. Like there's so many other amazing dancers, and not to discredit myself, but I'm just saying, they're like, I'm holding this spot for you, so I need a yes. And I was like, what's the catch? If it's too good to be true, it is. And that is one thing that my dad has always said to me that I was like, I have hope. No, he was right. And so this person is like, yeah, pay me this amount of money, flat fee, and then I'm your talent manager. And I was like, what? Pay you X amount of money that I don't have, by the way, that I shouldn't have to pay you, because how that works is you take a percentage of what I make. Not the other way around. Not I keep all the money for the first 6 months of probably no work at all, and then you get X amount of money. No. That's not how talent management works. The other part of this scam was, depending on the gig and how much money I was making, this person would also get a higher percentage of it. So not only am I going to be making less money from work that I've done, that I paid for, essentially, and they're getting a higher cut percentage of what I make if the gig is bigger. Of course, my head was like, is this something I want to invest in? Am I worth this money? And it made me so freaking upset. I texted my mentor immediately. I was like, help. Like, what are your thoughts on this? Like, I feel like I'm being scammed, but I'm also like kind of interested, and like, I just don't know. And she was like, if you want an agent, go to an open call. If you want an agent, go do this. If you want to start doing commercial stuff, go take commercial classes. You have to work for it. It's not just handed to you and you pay for it. That's not how this works. That's not how any legit agency does these things. And she's right. And she's been around for forever. My mom had talent agents, I think. And she told me, like, no, they take a cut of your paychecks for jobs you get. You don't pay them. That's a scam. I had Allie message one of her friends who's a model, And he was like, don't pay them. That's a scam. So I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck is this scam? And it is even more frustrating because it was coming from an artist. And I was just like, so this is what is happening now? Come to find, this person is talent managing several people that I'm familiar with in the dance industry. And I'm like, so they paid you. What? Like, what if you don't have that kind of money, but you deserve representation? You have to go do it the hard way, which is the correct way, I think, and work your ass off and go to open calls, submit materials, la-di-da-di-da. Do all the things that my friend did to get her agent or her manager. And it's just like, it's so disappointing to watch other artists take advantage of artists just because they can and they understand how desperate some of us are and how people will do anything to be in the upper, to have like the upper hand or to like get to the next level. Like, I don't know. There's so much overpopulation in dance, and especially with women who are unemployed and like trying to continue to do the thing, me included, as a freelancer. And people will succumb to these things because it's an easy yes. Because why not just dish out money? And we're back. Okay. Anywho, back to what I was saying. Let me sit back on my soapbox. Dancers get taken advantage of all the time, and it makes me so mad. We just don't deserve that, and I feel like it's very common. And so, yeah, the scam alert, management scam alert, and like, how can we, I keep like trying to think about this, because I think about this in my own, like the way that I approach teaching, the way that I move through, the way that I teach my class, like the way that I go into class. I just keep thinking about like, how can we dismantle that shit? Because it ends with dancers. Like, we ultimately have to say no until it goes away and we start getting what we deserve. Like, I just don't, I mean, but then again, that's never going to happen because people want to dance and they want to perform and they want to like do the thing. And so saying no means sacrificing something that ultimately is a sacrifice for yourself and for the greater good of others, but no one cares about anyone else except themselves. So like, obviously, why not do something that you can do if you have the money to get ahead? I get it. And I'm somebody that doesn't say no. I have danced for free. I have done things, like, that's fine. I have no problem with it when I'm getting something in return. And to a certain extent, it's like, where do we draw the line? Because it's just not okay. And even dancers that like do get paid are not getting paid enough. There has to be a way. There has to be a way for us to win, and also for the people that want to take advantage of us to like realize that they shouldn't do that. I'm getting too upset about it, okay? It's adding to my hot flash that I don't need to be having right now. We're going to take a deep breath. Do this with me, people watching. Oh, also, please enjoy my bob, okay? Woohoo! I got my hair cut by the one and the only Alexandra Partridge, a good friend of mine, such a talented musician, such a kind heart, actually obsessed with them. I feel like I'm in the presence of a peaceful being when I'm in the presence of them, and I feel so good about my hair. Thanks to Alex. So shout out to Alex. She does haircuts. Sometimes she comes to my apartment. Most of the time I go to hers. She's got great cats and an awesome roommate. It's lit. Okay, moving on. I think about this guy, this character who said, this quote stuck with me. I don't know why. But anyways, he says there's money to be made in the downfall of a country, and there's money to be made in the building of a country. And I think about the downfall of the arts as its own thing. And not the downfall of it, because it's not, nothing is falling down, okay? We're just experiencing crazy legislation against the arts because of our disgusting orange being that is in charge of the country right now. I don't even know how we got here, to be honest. No, actually I do. Anyways, because of the legislation against the arts, there is like very little accessible funding to even like bigger companies. Like Gibney, for example, like Trisha Brown, they were directly affected by funding cuts to the arts, and that is so upsetting. They had to like cut their touring season or something. Trisha Brown, I remember reading something about that, and I was just like, that's so... And so then where do you get the money? Private funders, which like people have been saying is the way to go. Funding privately for the arts is how things happen. Like, yes, this is true. Horrible. Oh, and guess what? Charlie Kirk. We are Charlie Kirk. I had to take a moment of silence because, oh, full body chills. Department of Education building in DC has Charlie Kirk's face on it now. If you're watching this and you have like no clue of anything going on in the world and you don't know who Charlie Kirk is, look it up. It's like that math meme that you're like, carry the 1, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Like none of it makes any sense, and if you sit there and you try to think about it, you're gonna have an explosion in your brain. You might experience what I'm experiencing, which is nothing. There's nothing in my brain because, like, I just can't. Okay, moving away from some dance career things and being disappointed by scam artists who make their money that way, I'm, like, starting to think I should... No, I'm an honest person. No. The answer is no. I have been so comforted by Jinx Monsoon. If you do not know Jinx Monsoon is a drag queen who is on Broadway. She is so... I've not seen her on Broadway, obviously, because Broadway tickets are real expensive these days. And I don't have the budget for that. I recently watched an episode of the comment section. Oh, which, by the way... Drew Afwalo, the comment section, love her. She always has awesome guests on her podcast, and she always centers queer people. And Jinx Monsoon is a trans woman who is on Broadway, singer, actor, incredible. I have been really comforted by her talking about witchcraft. Ooh-woo of the world and of experiences that women share with each other it's so like, specifically women, it's like so witchy and magical, and it's like the closest thing to like unicorns, if that makes sense. It's like unicorns and glitter for me is like Jinx Monsoon's like witchcraft and like her being a witch. It makes me like so excited. Because women were hunted for being smart and having brains, and we were told we were witches, and then we were burned at the stake. So, yeah, I think it's, like, super empowering and super cool to listen to women talk about witchcraft in the way that they do, and practicing witches who know what they're doing, who share those things, their, like, experiences with the world. And it doesn't have this, like I grew up with this dark connotation of, like, witchcraft. And, like, anything witch-related was, like, dark and sinister and evil, and, like, wizardry was the opposite of that, which actually, I feel like it's flipped. I feel like witchcraft is this, like, gorgeous, like, symbolism of, like, femininity and spells and manifestation and glitter and magic. I keep getting fuzzies in my eyeball. And magic and all things that are inherently so feminine and divine and I eat it up. Jinx Monsoon on Drew Offwall's podcast reminded me that I have been so out of touch with my spiritual life. Like, amongst everything that I have been doing, the class, the planning, choreography, putting together a ballet, like, all these things, excuse me while I dig into my eyeball. Oh my God. These things that I've been doing to, like, put in the energy for my career because I've spent a lot of time manifesting, I have forgotten that you have to do both. You have to allow yourself the time and the space to sit with what you want and how you want to achieve it, and, you know, do your manifestations, write your goals, do your journaling, pray, whatever it is that you do to channel the power of Mrs. Universe. You have to, like, sit and be ooh-woo with yourself, and you have to, like, I am worthy of the love that comes to me. I am worthy of great things. What I put out into the world will come back to me. Like, you literally have to do that in order to receive the things that you deserve. And I think manifestation and believing in the powers of the universe goes way back to, like, spirituality and belief in nature and how nature provides for you. Manifesting doesn't even always look like one thing. It could look like waking up, going for a walk, and getting coffee and just, like, thinking and, like, practicing mindfulness and gratefulness. Like, that's manifestation. So last night was a pink moon. It is Thursday, April 2nd. This will come out a little bit later. The pink moon in Libra. And for me, I'm a Sagittarius, if you didn't know. I'm hot. Told me that now is a good time for me to, like, reconnect with friends, open up my social circle, which is so crazy because I have been doing that, and I actually reconnected with somebody that I was friends with in middle school when I lived in Charleston. What are the odds? I got to hang out with one of my best friends this week. I got to get my hair cut by my other best friend. Like, it has been a week that is full of social interactions, and the pink moon was telling me, like, this is a time for that, and you will have energy, but also make sure you rest. And so I put my moon water out, and I put my crystals out to cleanse and recharge from the light of the pink moon. And I drank the moon water today because that's what you're supposed to do. I've just been doing things that bring the childlike joy and also peace into my life to be able to continue to keep doing what I'm doing, because when shit gets busy, it's busy. I don't know what women are sleeping in these days, and I feel like we don't talk about this enough, but, like, for a minute, this is, like, side topic. I was wearing boxers, like, men's boxers that are literally so loose on me that they, like, rub in places that they shouldn't, because, again, I don't have a penis and a ball sack, and so when something gets stuck into my vaginal area, it's quite uncomfortable. You get irritated when you wear something that's rubbing like this, and your vag is really uncomfortable. And I was like, oh, I'm so sick and tired of this shit. Like, what do I do? Allie goes, you need tight boxers. And I was like, shh, quiet on set. Just kidding. Is it still recording? Yeah. Thank God. So you can see my face. Anyways. And I was like, she was like, you need tight boxers. And I was like, yeah, but, like, I don't want men's boxers. Like, I don't want to spend $30 on fucking men's boxers that are just going to become stretchy and irritating and remind me that they're not for me. And then my clit is going to be irritated. And that's just, like, the way that loose clothing, that's just what happens when you wear loose clothing and you're a woman, okay? And you have a labia, okay? I was out one day. I went to, like, an ankle workshop at Harkness. And it was fantastic. I learned so much, loved it. And then I was like, no, I'm going to go shopping. And so then I went to SOHO, which brings me to ugly and broke in SOHO. I went to a Betsy Johnson pop-up because as a kid, I loved Betsy Johnson. I had a bag by her and I was like, this is my favorite bag ever. And so I was like, I'm going to feed my inner child and do this. So then I stood in line for like an 2 hours pretty much by myself in the cold to go to her pop-up. And it was really cute. And honestly, I probably won't do something like that again, but it was very fun. And it did feed my inner child, and I was very grateful. But again, I won't be doing that ever again. But it was cute, and I got some cute photos, and she's such an icon, and she loves gays, and I love gays. And so I just was like, this is great. So while I was in SOHO, I went into, what's that fucking place called that doesn't make clothes for women? Oh my God. Aritzia? Who the runs Aritzia? I just want to know. Because I put on a shirt and I was like, this is really cute in theory if I didn't have boobs. If I didn't have boobs, I could wear this. But like, don't most women have boobs? So then who the fuck can wear this? I was just like, this is so disappointing. This is not made for, like, who made this? Everything I tried on at Aritzia, I was like, oh, yeah, okay, so I have shoulders and boobs. Not gonna work. And so then I was, like, feeling defeated, and I was like, oh, and then across the street, my knight in shining armor, Aerie. Now, Aerie is made for women's bodies. It just is. And specifically the underwear. And I was recommended by somebody I knew in college who was also queer and was like, Aerie underwear is the best. Because I was like, where do you get underwear? Because, like, fuck Victoria's Secret. Fuck it so hard. And they were like, Aerie. And they also worked. Anyways, so I go to Aerie and I was like looking at underwear because I just like, I've needed some underwear. And I was like, today's the day. Like, I finally like have an excuse to buy it. And so then I went in and I picked out some, and then they had boxer briefs, and they're so cute, and they're like striped, and they have little buttons on the top, but they're made for vaginas. They were made for vaginas so that things aren't rubbing together like this or whatever, you know, and they fit so well. Oh, and I can't even tell you how relieved I felt knowing that I can go to sleep at night and my clitoris is not like in with some loose ass fabric.
Did you feel euphoric?
I felt euphoric. Gianna, that one's for you. One time my sibling goes, does that make you feel euphoric? I can't even remember what we were talking about. And I was like, yeah. or some, I don't even fucking know. Anyways. Boxers for women that are tight, that are cotton, that still are breathable, but that are comfortable, euphoric. I've never felt anything better. So if you are like me and you're like, you need comfort, but you also want to like feel cute, those boxers at Aerie, totally recommend. They're like $15 each, like whatever. So worth it. So worth the money. Because either that or you go to the doctor and you're like, why am I irritated? Also, their underwear is so soft and all of the pieces that are touching your vagina are cotton. And I recommend. Don't wear anything unless it's cotton. Those with vaginas, please do not wear anything unless it's cotton. I'm sure you all know this. But let me tell you something right now. It makes a big difference in your vaginal health. And don't use fragrance. Just gonna say that. Naturally, when you're in SOHO, you're people watching. And I was standing in line for 2 hours, so I was really people watching. I watched like several SUVs go by. I watched like really, really rich people that looked like they didn't give a fuck about anyone but themselves walk by. I watched people that were dressed to the nines and looked fantastic. I watched this family pull up in like an Audi and like super rich, like the kid's hair was curled, they like dressed super nice. It was like a family affair that they were in SOHO together and they were like obviously going to like Chanel. I watched a woman and her daughter come out of Miu Miu with a big huge bag and I was just like, oh my God, that will never be me. People are just so rich and living in New York reminds me of that all the time. I felt extra poor that day. And also my hair looked funny, and I was just like, oh my god, I'm ugly today. Not only am I in SOHO, but I'm ugly. Like, this is not a good combo for the ego. SOHO is a trip and a half. Feels otherworldly. Rosalia is on tour right now, and I am a huge fan. And I know personally one of her dancers, Allie's first dance partner at Perry Dance. Gorgeous human being. Shout out to Joaquin. He's absolutely killing it. This is not his first tour with an artist. He's just like on a roll. His career is taking off. Super cool to watch him from afar. And I have notes. The one note that I have is for Rosalia and her point shoe skit that she does in a tutu, ? Now, nobody, unless you're a ballerina, needs to be wearing point shoes. That is where I stand. If you do not have years and years of training, I don't even let my students get on point until they've had years of the experience prior to point of strengthening, codifying ballet technique, la 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 la. I don't understand why those rules don't apply for people who just like want to go on point, who just like think it's cool. I don't get it. So that's my one note is Rosalia should not be wearing point shoes and doing 4 Asia Pace on point. No. If you don't have training, you look dumb. I'm so sorry. It just looks dumb. And I feel protective over that because I worked so hard on point for so many years doing full-length ballets and now that I teach it, it's just even more like, huh? Like, you have so much respect for the art form of singing and performing and dancing, but like, what about these fucking point shoes, man? Like, you just can't put those on. Maybe you can, and maybe I'm overstepping. I'm getting off my soapbox. I'm super grateful for this, like, return to spirituality I'm having and these life changes that are happening that I'm kind of, like, still navigating, that I know 20-year-olds who are doing the same shit I am and waking up and choosing this crazy artistic life every day are feeling. Shout out to Jinx Monsoon. Shout out to Alexandra, who I call Alex. It's so weird to say Alexandra. And shout out to the pink moon. And thank God we're out of retrograde because 2 of those in 1 month is insane. Or 2 months is insane. And I encourage you all to thanks for watching. This is your pilot speaking. Over and out.